Well, I'm being told by local county leaders as well as city leaders that this allows them to get resources going and activated more quickly. The other thing they tell me is that it sends a sense of urgency to all Portlanders and Multnomah County residents so that they know this is serious and now is the time to prepare. Katu's weather team is the best resource for information on the snow and freeze coming this Christmas weekend and beyond. And the city of Portland and Multnomah County say they want to be prepared. By declaring a state of emergency, the two can get started preparing warming shelters and help when people need it.
This is going to be a very challenging Christmas season, and we all need to prepare.
Starting Friday, warming shelters will open, and TriMet will give anyone a free ride to a shelter. We're talking about the exact opposite concerns from 6 months ago. We're talking about freezing temperatures and possibly even snow. But some things, according to area officials, remain the same. We all need to check on one another.
I want to make an urgent plea. Please make an effort to check on your neighbors throughout this cold snap. Knock on their door, make a call, or send a text. Let them know when you're going to the store. Ask how you can help.
The city and county both say that extreme event last June was a major learning lesson.
I can say we learned a lot.
I think you're just increasingly seeing the alignment between the city and the county.
One of the biggest changes, declaring an emergency.
One of them is the declaring an emergency. Not only does declaring an emergency give us additional tools to respond quickly and to be nimble, but it also sends a message to the community that this is really serious.
So that emergency declaration for both the city and the county officially go into effect starting tomorrow. As a part of an agreement, the Multnomah County chair also told us today that gas and electric companies have agreed that through this emergency order, they will not be shutting off anyone's gas or electric, especially because people will likely be needing heat over these next few days.
Well, Steve, if we get the weather like Dave is expecting, it's going to be slow going wherever you're driving in Oregon this holiday.
Anybody that's out on the road needs to be extra careful in the days ahead.
Don Hamilton with ODOT says they're ready for the usual suspects.
US 26, the Sunset Highway, I-5, I-205, I-84. We're going to make sure they get the attention of the plows, of the sand, of the salt, of anything they need, of the tools they need to make sure that we can keep them open.
And that takes work and workers to do the job. ODOT says they're down about 100 employees who are tasked with keeping roads clear during winter storms. That's about 10% of its winter positions.
We've been down for a couple of years right now, as have many companies and many departments of transportation around the country have been down. This is not unusual.
What is ODOT doing to make sure that travelers can get where they need to go with this impending weather?
We've got our crews ready to go. I mean, we've got all of our equipment ready. The plows, the sanders, the de-icers, the salt is all set out there. As soon as we get something to take care of on the roads, we'll be out there trying to address it.
And he says drivers should prepare for delays.
It may take a little longer to get the roads clear. We may require chains a little longer periods of time on the roads. We may not be able to get plows onto some of the main roads as quickly as we normally do.
PBOT officials say they are fully staffed, but instead of spending time with family and friends, essential workers are being called in.
It is quite an operation. And these folks most of them have been out doing essential work throughout the pandemic. And they're here once again, stepping up to make sure those roads are clear for the other essential workers that have to serve our city in these times as well.
So if you are heading out, remember the 3 P's. You have to plan, prepare, and of course have some patience this holiday weekend.
So let's talk about what's happening. We are looking at just rainy weather this morning for most of you. We heard Mike Warner say that he saw some snow mixing in at Sylvan's. The snow level drops with heavy showers this time of year. Sometimes just the snow level gets pulled down, but we're not seeing that widespread. Right now the snow level is above 2,000 feet, so you see the mountains getting snow. This is actually a front passing through right now. Remember, we've been talking over the past few days that once this front passed through, through, colder air would start to settle to the Pacific Northwest. That's behind this front, and so temperatures are expected to drop. Now, let's talk about the weather alert. It's for widespread snow, and that accumulating snow could be all the way down. It's not going to matter what level you live at, what sea level all the way to the high hills. We are looking at widespread snow by Sunday morning, and it looks like it could start Saturday night on Christmas night. As soon as we hit nightfall, it should be cold enough to start to see it accumulate in the hills and then down to sea level by Sunday morning. This is all location, so if you're watching now from the coast, yes, you may also see snow by Sunday morning as well, especially if these temperatures get down to the level that models are showing, which would be around freezing by Sunday morning. We have a winter storm watch now for Portland and for the entire Willamette Valley down to Eugene. So you folks watching us from south, north, east, west in the valley also are under this watch. It begins for tomorrow afternoon, continues from Monday at 4 a.m. So that gives you a kind of a time frame here that we're looking at. And the winter storm warning for the Cascades now extended into the Coast Range. So if you're trying to leave, going to or from the coast, you will run into snow, especially Saturday afternoon and into Sunday, but it could be as early as tomorrow morning because the snow level is going to dip to 1,500 feet today and then 1,000 feet tomorrow. A lot to talk about, obviously. So just a few of the winter headlines we're going to continue to go over for you. This winter storm watch, who it covers, the snow levels falling, and I actually have some estimates now in some of the computer models about what kind of amounts we're looking at and where. And the Valley Snow story will just continue to, we're actually, luckily each day, getting those finer points taken care of in the computer models and giving you more information. So I'll tell you what I know coming up here in 10 minutes.
People are just exhausted.
Dr. Seth Podolsky, the chief medical officer of Legacy Health, says his workers are tired. The strain of this pandemic hitting them hardest. And now they're...
Frankly, I think moving into the upset phase, because we know what we can do to prevent this spread and these surges, and we don't see all of our fellow Americans doing it.
Masking, distancing, vaccinating, and boosting.
Those are the things that we know will limit surges and stop the spread of this terrible disease.
COVID has already killed 800,000 Americans. The death toll so significant that in 2020, the average life expectancy for an American dropped by 2 years. That's the largest decline since World War II.
We thought Delta was incredibly fast. It basically went from less than 5% of the cases in the United States to over 95% in the span of less than 4 months. Omicron is doing that in less than 4 weeks.
On December 17th, OHA set a goal to get 1 million more Oregonians boosted by the end of January. As of Thursday, 118,000 Oregonians had answered the call.
What's going to be the biggest challenge in getting to that million mark in the next 30 days?
I think it all comes down to patriotism, frankly. Those that believe we can save our neighbors and friends by getting vaccinated and boosted will get it.
And to those yet to get any vaccine because they say they're personally not worried about dying from COVID, Dr. Podolsky says this.
You're failing your civic responsibility to protect the community.
Just this week, the CDC said that Omicron is accounting for more than 70% of cases in the U.S. And the most recent data from Delta shows that the unvaccinated are 20 times more likely to die from COVID than those who are vaccinated and boosted.